Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butter Burger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM, broadcasting live from the Waffle House, Hampton Inn.
Oh, it's nice, too. We're going to get any waffles.
Didn't get any waffles, just some oatmeal.
Well, I think the manager said we were just a little late. There was a line for them. I couldn't get to them. But
there was a line.
You know, we're busy people.
Yeah, busy people.
Now, first break, I'll go get some waffles.
You're going to get a waffle. Yeah. Well, after our first break, we're going to talk to Mike Cagley with the Illini guys. He's going to give us a call. We'll talk some Illinois sports. We can talk some Bears or whatever else you'd like to talk about, Joe.
Did we talk some Arizona Cardinals? Probably not.
I don't know.
Not much to talk about there.
No. But yeah, we'll talk with Mike and get his inside news on things going around Illinois sports. With all the moves and things like that. So, whole different team over there in Illinois this year. But we'll get Mike's take on that. Graduation day today for the Lincoln High School seniors. So, congratulations to them. And Joe,
heading out in the real world.
You're all dressed up for it.
Yeah, yes. Be going to graduation. You know, graduation is way different than it used to be.
Oh, is it?
It's all air conditioned. Of course, today's a nice day, but remember how graduations used to be later in the year and hot? You don't remember. Go to a gymnasium and it was hot in there. Now it's air conditioned, fans going. But of course, it's a nice day today.
Yeah, I mean, we have electricity these days, yeah. Joe. Back in your day.
Yeah, back in my day, some of the candles would go out during the ceremony, and then it would fill with smoke. And,
right.
You're a pretty funny guy.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Try to be.
Where's your partner at?
Where is Jake? Jake's on a boat somewhere. Do we know where at?
Clinton Lake.
It's not Clinton Lake. I don't know.
He's on a boat, Clinton Lake. Yeah, he's somewhere, and this 2 shows in a row for him.
Yeah, and it's been pretty nice.
He's been gone a long time.
Yeah, Jake's on a boat. We just don't know where.
Maybe he'll call in.
I doubt it. He's on a boat.
Yeah, it's pretty doubtful he's calling in. But
he sends a lot of Snapchats and stuff like that. So
I don't know. Is he Snapchat? I don't Snapchat.
No, yeah, he's putting some Snapchats out there on a boat.
That's pretty
in the ocean.
Oh, really? How do you keep track of all that stuff? Snapchat. You like to X, don't you?
No, I'll skim through it. I don't post, but I mean, Snapchat's good for family functions and friends. They send pictures and stuff, and after you watch it or look at it, it's gone. You don't have to worry about deleting it.
Well, it's not gone. It's on the internet.
Well,
That's their internet.
Never gone. Yeah. Speaking of internet, I got an interesting call yesterday from Fox News. I don't typically answer numbers I don't know, but I thought it was my safety regional office call me back, and so I answered it, and like, hello, Mr. Kirby, this is, I can't remember the guy's name, from Fox News. Would you mind setting up an interview with us and tell us about what's going on? I'm like, what's going on in Lincoln, Illinois? Well, he thought I was the Scott Kirby CEO of United Airlines.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, you got the wrong one. And he apologized and moved on. But if I wasn't in the middle of things, and if I was a little more wittier at the time,
sure,
we would have had some fun.
Happy to talk to you.
Would have had some fun with it. Yeah. But it just caught me at the wrong time. But that was kind of...
You could have told him, hey, get a list of questions together and get them back to me, and then we'll talk. Yeah. You could have had all these little things lined up.
Fly me out wherever you're at. And well, yeah, that was.
Well, I was laughing about it when you said it earlier because CNBC, it's on all the time, and I see him on there a lot. That pops up underneath him, Scott Kirby. I was laughing. Yeah, well, that's not the real Scott Kirby.
That's not the real one. It's just the one.
Who is that guy?
The money. He's got the monies. Went to a concert last night. Great concert. Shinedown, Beartooth. Oh. That was a good time.
Where's that at?
Peoria Civic Center.
Good seats?
Yeah. I mean, there's really not a bad seat in there.
No.
A lot of fire, a lot of loud pyrotechs. It was cool. It was fun. Good time. Place was sold out, packed.
Were they in the theater or were they in the...
No, they were in the arena.
So they sold that out?
They sold that out. I mean, it was...
Wow, that's pretty good.
It was a mess. A zoo. Good time. Yeah. So.
Were you good? Did you behave?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Did you get over early? Go to one of that?
No, and I went after work. We got there, for their opening act, which was Morgan Wade, the female country artist, I guess.
Don't know her.
Yeah, you wouldn't. It's not worth looking up.
Wasn't it any good?
No. But Beartooth was good. Shinedown was amazing.
I never heard of Beartooth.
You need to. Well, that's not your genre. You like the old guys like
Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
That's it.
Yeah.
Kenny Wayne was unbelievable. You guys can go. You ever get a chance to see Kenny Wayne?
We should go, huh?
Oh, the guy was incredible.
Incredible.
There's a lot of funny people in here.
A lot of funny.
And when we go off the air, there's going to be problems.
You
come back in and that camera will be like the old Batman shows where you go to the Joker's hideout and everything be crooked. Yeah, like that. That's what we need to jazz this up a little bit, make us look sideways or something.
Oh, you're sideways.
Well, you're sideways for sure.
There you go. Yeah. Checking your time.
Yeah, checking my time. I mean, not a whole lot going on in the sports world. I mean, you watch NBA basketball, the playoffs?
I follow the Nuggets some because my son Pee Wee goes to a lot of Nugget games, so he's a big Nugget fan. So
how are the Nuggets doing? I don't know. I don't follow them that much.
Well, they won the opening series, and now they're playing somebody good and got Oklahoma City. I'm telling you, they played Oklahoma City and got blasted there tonight. But I think the series is at 1-1 right now. I don't tune into the early games. It's like if there's a later one, I'll kind of watch the end of it. I did watch what was the hockey game there tonight? Double overtime.
Yeah.
The Blues.
The Kentucky Derby. How did that go up at the old?
Oh yeah.
Copper and Oak.
Yeah, had a good time.
Good turnout.
Yeah.
And the winner was.
Do you remember? No.
Journalism. No.
Is what? Call in. Tell us who won the Kentucky Derby. You can win a prize.
I watched it. I just can't remember who won it. Secretariat.
Secretariat. Yeah, whoever won it, which I can't name escaping me right now. But now the jockey's in trouble for hitting the horse Sovereignty. For hitting the horse 7 times with the whip, and you're only allowed to hit him 6.
You're kidding.
No, and he is fine. I tell you, this horse racing sport is very interesting, but evidently you can only whip the horse 6 times during a race. If somebody out there knows more than me, which they all do about this horse racing, call in and tell us, but I guess he hit him 7 times.
8 times.
Does it say 8?
He crossed the line.
And so the fine on that is 10% of
$62,000.
10% of what you got, or what you got paid for the win, which was like $600,000. So he's getting a $60,000 fine, and a 1-day suspension, which I do not know what that means. You just pick any day, or is it a race day? You can't race.
I'll take Monday off.
But I know they have the rules, and I know that he should know it, and I know all that stuff. I mean, I understand, but I do. When he was talking, he said, I'm in a horse race for my life. I've got a chance at winning the Kentucky Derby.
I'm beating that horse.
I am not. Well, what he said was, I'm not counting how many times I've used my whip, which I could see. You know, if you're in that race, you're just flying along, mud's going everywhere. I don't know if I hit him 6 times or 15 times.
It's probably about 100 times.
Yeah.
I'm just beating the crap out of that thing. Let's go.
But
so did the horse file a claim?
Yeah, the horse filed work comp claim. Yeah, so it's kind of...
So there's rules.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, how many Kentucky Derbies or how many horse races have we all watched that I didn't know you could only...
I thought they were beating them the whole way, because you see them going like this. I'm like, man, it's going to leave a mark. But 6 times is the max.
Mm-hmm. Pretty interesting. And then, you know, like... So
well, you don't get the horse's attention till about 10.
And then, you know, Bobby Baffert's banned for 3 years for doing to horses what we do in every major sport.
Juice?
No, mask injuries. So, you know, I mean, look how many times those those guys pop under the tent, barely got over there, pop under the tent, pop out, and go, hey, man, I'm good, I'm back in.
Here's a cortisone shot.
Well, and that's what he basically was doing for horses, I guess, was masking some, you know, they got a bruise, they got some type of pain, and he was giving them a drug that masked that so they could run races, and he was banned for 3 years, and we do it every day to humans. There's a lot of interesting things in horse racing, and it costs $1 zillion.
Yeah.
Jason Worth's thing is, you know what, he just popped in for the heck of it and wins the Derby last year. Now they're moving on into different things, bigger horses, and it's a great documentary out there about the 24 Kentucky Derby, and it runs through everything going on up to it, leading to it. And I'm not sure what channel, so you just have to Google it or something, but it's very interesting. It shows you a lot of stuff about what goes on in the horse race, how much it costs, all the characters that are involved. People just win the lottery and go buy horses. Here, I'm going to start winning races.
There, let's go horse racing. Well, let's take a commercial break because we want to get some actual sports knowledge flowing through the airwaves. We'll take a commercial break. We come back, we'll talk with Mike Cagley with the Illini guys. So stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 20.
This is Taryn Stoltenberg from the 2024 Lady Railer State Champion Basketball Team, and you're listening to Cheap Seats on WLCN.
That's good.
Waffles. And we didn't even get a waffle at the Hampton Inn today. It is waffle day. It's been a while since we've been here, and we didn't get a waffle because the line was too long.
I feel like when we come out here, we're in a professional studio atmosphere.
I mean, you're all dressed up.
But we have the curtains drawn. We have a room to ourselves. The sound system works better. It's nice in here.
Well, yeah. Speaking of not being out here for a while, we haven't had our next guest on for quite some time, and we have Mike Cagley on with us this morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Hey. Good morning, guys. I kind of wonder what's going on there. You guys got the private room to yourselves with the curtains drawn. Maybe it's safer that I'm here on the phone.
Dragging you into it.
It's we're on the black web.
I hope you're dressed appropriately.
It seems like we only have Mike on when we're at the Hampton Inn.
Yeah, that is the case because I helped myself to some waffles last time I was there. I guess I had more of the Pete Rose mindset. I was going to go ahead and grab that as best I could.
Yes.
And get in the line, fight a couple people, throw an elbow, and get that waffle. But
Joe was about there. He wanted his waffle. He was eyeballing it, but the waffle station was occupied.
Yes. We did the right thing and grabbed some oatmeal.
Yep. So Mike,
no one can fault you for that.
No, we went a little healthy. It's been a while, Mike. What's going on in the world of Mike Cagley and the Illini guys? I know right now, college sports is year-round information, with NILs and transfer portals and everything moving. What have you guys been focusing on lately as far as news-wise?
With the transfer portal that we so humbly call Portal Combat, it has been absolutely nuts. And this is the biggest, believe it or not, we thought when we started this back in 2021 that the biggest part of the year would be the start of the football and basketball season. That's when we would get the most people joining, and we turned out to be totally wrong. The minute that the Illini are out of the NCAA tournament and people are wondering like who's coming back next year, who should we be looking at in the transfer portal, what rumors of guys overseas are going to be out there, we get a huge influx of subscriptions, and that's the way it is. And we get a lot of people, the vast majority, they'll jump in and then they'll stick around. They'll do the $99 a year, and that 27 cents a day seems to work for most people. But with Brad Sturdy, who of course you guys know has been around for 20 years plus and covering Illini sports, and Kedrick Prince, if you want to know what's going on, particularly in the basketball side of Portal Combat, we're the place to be. So most of the time our fans, we never want to steal the spotlight from a kid when they get to commit to a school, because in today's world they only get to do that 6 or 8 times. But we will hint so that people have an idea of maybe what's coming.
Yeah, and it looks like on the basketball side, Illini really concentrating overseas. I mean, it's if your name doesn't end in IVIC or you're not on the squad. So a lot of overseas foreign guys coming over, and I know Coach Underwood. I don't know if you've talked to him about it, but he wants those older guys, those veterans, because let's face it, last year, when we had KJ out there and Will Riley, 18, 19 years old playing against 22, 23-year-olds, there's a big difference as far as, the physical part of the game and the mental aspect.
Yeah, I think, a couple years ago, Underwood kind of said, we want to get old and stay old. And they kind of strayed from that a little bit last year. Although one could make an argument, if you look at that Illini team, before Kasparis, his mystery left forearm injury.
Yeah.
You know, when he had 6 or 7 20-point games in a row. He never got his mojo back.
No, he didn't.
He was like Austin Powers Part 2, you know, where he had to go. He had some good games, but he never got that consistency back after that injury. And then one wonders, as young as they were, you know, had you not had whatever that injury was, coupled with the mononucleosis of Ivičić, and that's, you put those two things together, and then you add in the, Ivičić with the sprained ankle, and then the flu, it turned into a weird, 4 or 5 week period that Illinois didn't play horrible ball, but they weren't the team they were before. They played a little better down the stretch, but again, they never could get that consistency back. And I think, to the point you were making, with maybe a couple more older players, a couple guys who got a little more experience and maybe even some leadership skills, maybe they could get that back on track. But again, the only team that really did that well, led by freshmen last year, was Duke, and they just had the modern day Larry Bird type on their team. So yeah, I don't know if that's the template that you just get a Cooper flag and we'll be fine. It's just only one team gets that.
Yeah,
so
a dime a dozen.
I think they really need to find a way to get some leadership, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying they're looking for another guy, but when people get out of the draft here in the next few weeks, there are going to be a few people who will want to cash in and say, hey, I've got I want to make a little bit of money. I was good enough to at least, go through the draft process. And there's a lot of schools who are out of funds right now. And if Illinois can get a deal on a guy who's good, I don't think it's above. You guys know Jeff Alexander, those guys, Brad Underwood, those are competitive dudes. And if they find a way, like if they could go and, go to, some NIL people and say, hey, we need X amount of dollars. We got a guy, it's a lot cheaper than we thought we could get him for. I wouldn't be surprised to see them get another guy. I don't know that they feel like they have to, but if somebody falls in their lap, if you could get another guy who's, let's say, somebody who's 6'4", 6'5", can handle the ball and play a little 3 and D, I could see them going and grabbing a guy and just adding a piece that might be helpful down the stretch.
Yeah, they have spots open apparently. I don't, you can't even keep track of the roster right now and what positions they're really wanting to solidify. You get the guard out of overseas. I can't think of his name, Jurovic or whatever. Petrovic, and
yes,
he'll probably be the point guard, and you're just looking for pieces around him, and you got Boswell returning.
Yeah, I think you'll end up with Petrovic and Boswell in the backcourt, and then I think you're going to have Ivičić and Mrković will be, on the bigs, and then I think out on the wing, of course, will be Stojakovic. So
Stojakovic, Mirovic.
Yeah, I know. And well, we actually have a logo that we created just to make sure that we were prepared for this, and so we've got the Illini Ivičić guys.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one that we have to be prepared for after Illinois wins a game or something, because the odds are it's going to be something that someone from Eastern Europe did to win the game for them. It's interesting because Illinois is looking at they are looking at a opportunity to go with guys who have developed a little bit differently than what they do here in America. Because in America, they are looking at, they just kind of roll out the ball and play a boatload of games. And in the way it works over there is those guys spend all their time practicing and doing reps. They don't do as many games, and everything about it, the European countries decided years ago that the American basketball players might be a little bit better from a standpoint of being able to, athletically being a little bit ahead of them. And what you're looking, is they're like, okay, so we have to learn how to, pass, dribble, cut, move with the least amount of wasted effort so that we can cut down that advantage on athleticism. And so the precision of a European player is a little different. And sometimes some people think it's a little bit robotic, but I think that is what Underwood gets, is a little bit more developed from a fundamental standpoint than what you might get with a United States player.
Yeah, and it's
didn't realize that.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the Marez Johnson drama. I know for some reason he was unhappy there. Didn't think he was being utilized as much as he should be. But from tape that I've seen in high school, that's just the type of player he is around the basket. A power guy down around the basket, not so much of an outside shooter. And I think at least from what I've gathered, is he was unhappy with how he was being utilized. Is that fair to say?
I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but I think that's in the right neighborhood. I think his perception, right or wrong, was that a guy like Kofi, who, let's face it, Kofi was the most dominant player that Illinois probably has ever had. Mm-hmm. Because he was a walking 21 and 10, and you had to tilt your defense to just make sure he didn't get 30 and 15. But he never he never developed that outside shot.
Nope.
And as dominant as he was, he ends up, playing overseas. And I think what Marez wanted more than anything was a chance to try to do a little more outside, mm-hmm. and not just be the back to your basket guy, because like Kofi, I don't think he has quite enough quick twitch to make money in the NBA, because if you're going to be a rim protector, you got to get up high and get up fast. Mm-hmm. Now, Marez can get up high, but he doesn't always get up fast. So I think what he wanted to do was have some opportunities to play outside, to develop that skill set, so that he has that opportunity later on. Now, I think the coaches, what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to get wins today.
Right.
They're not supposed to worry about, will this guy make it in the NBA in 3 years? So I think there was a little bit of a friction there. And I think the coaches were honest with him, like, we're recruiting players who shoot 40% from the three. So you're probably not going to spend a ton of time out there. He didn't like what he had to hear, and Michigan told him they were going to do that, and then promptly recruited guys that Marez is probably going to do the same thing there that he did at Illinois. And unfortunately, I think the Illinois coaches were straight with him. Now, we'll see. Maybe next year, Michigan lets him, fire up a couple threes a game. But the way I see it at Michigan is he's going to probably end up in a similar role, and then the difference will be that Illinois had him budgeted, $750,000, and I think they went up to $1 million for a power forward who's predominantly an inside player, very important, a good defensive player, and they pegged him at about $1 million a year, and Michigan gave him 1.5. So if you don't, I went back and did some research, and I think like 2.5% of college players play in the NBA. So if you don't know for sure you're going to play in the NBA, and Marez looks like he's going to be a 4-year player.
Yeah.
If you make an extra $500,000 for 3 of your 4 years, that's $1.5 million. So in the end, maybe it's just he got some money, and then we just have to cross our fingers and hope that Morez actually gets to keep that money and it doesn't go through his crazy dad, and it gets spent because Morez, I've interviewed him. He is a great kid. He's a guy that, I'll be honest with you, I was very disappointed because seeing him for 4 years and the effort he puts in, I thought he would have been one of Illini fans' all-time favorites. But unfortunately, the economics of the game and the instant transfer eligibility and the portal and the dollars that are flying around, it was just a confluence of things that played in him going to Michigan, and I wish him luck, except on the nights he plays Illinois, because he's a good guy.
Yeah, and the thing we have to remember, these guys are kids, 18, 19 years old, and when you're throwing money around like that, and then a lot of these guys have a lot of misreputation, guys in their ear, telling them
very poor reputation. You're so correct.
And
Kofi should have never went pro. He should have stayed 2 more years at Illinois, because he could have got that 5th year because of COVID. He would have set every NCAA record for rebounding because he'd have 5 full years. He would set every Illinois record, and he would have made another $4 million playing for Illinois, or maybe 5. And they might have won a national title with him, and instead he's playing in Korea.
Yeah, and Adam Miller, another example. He liked Illinois. He wanted to stay, but he had some bad information, and like you said, some bad representation. I can't even talk. And and rumor was that he was wanting to come back this year. He did end up going to Gonzaga, but it's just sometimes kids take information.
When your mom is nuts and they drive the coaches nuts, that's another thing.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate for Adam, because he was a little bit like Richard Mendenhall, who obviously the uber talented tailback in the Zook era. But Richard's mom's crazy, and Coach Zook had to deal with her every week with this, that, and the other thing. And Adam Miller's mother, again, you get an agent who tells somebody, hey, we can get you all this money, they start thinking about that, and it becomes very disruptive if you can't get that out of your mind. And in fairness to the kids, I mean, right now I'm gainfully employed, but if somebody comes at me with a $500,000 a year raise, I'm probably going to switch jobs.
Yeah, we're waiting for that here too.
I know. Unfortunately, I had no athletic talent.
Maybe that's why we were going to Eastern Europe. We're getting away from the parents.
Yeah.
Well, I think, look, there is a very valid point to that, because there, the kids go away to play for a team. So the parents have kind of had that experience of breaking the apron strings, so to speak. And it's more of a professional thing, so they don't call the coaches every 3 seconds. That's got to be a thing, because I just don't see Brad Underwood sitting around wanting to talk to a parent for 45 minutes.
No, you're making Jeff do it. They're calling Jeff.
There's Jeff. This is your
I was going to say, here's Jeff. I see Brad Underwood going, here's Jeff's number.
Yeah.
Talking Jeff.
Yeah, you don't want the extra baggage.
I mean, in today's world, especially, the other thing is some of these players are finding out the hard way that when you get money for this, you end up in a situation where
Lost you. He's still talking, and we're not even hearing him. Well, let's go to commercial break, and we'll see if we can get Mike back on. He's probably still. Let's go to commercial break, and we'll see if we can get Mike back on. So we'll be back.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 20.
This is Greg Lozinski, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, and Sabadoo on 96.3 FM WLCN.
Jim, you could have brought us into some Beartooth.
That was good right there. What he brought in. I liked Shabadoo on there. That was
Sabadoo.
That was a good one.
Sabadoo. Oh, and Mike Cagley's back with us. Mike, we lost you there for a sec.
Our cell phones are beautiful.
Yeah, and that's technology, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. Lost our train of thought there, so we'll hit the reset button here. And
that's fine.
Joe had some questions for you.
What do you know about Illinois football? How about that?
Well, I tell you what, isn't it crazy that Illinois is being ranked in the top 10 in football?
Yes.
Wow.
And people don't seem to be talking about it very much.
That's why I was asking. What's pushed us to that
it's
level?
amazing to me what Brett Bielema has done with this program.
Yeah, and we've lost some key pieces as far as, people transferring out that we thought we would stay, but he just, you plug and play, and yeah, that's kind of shocking to me. Top 10 in football, it's exciting.
Those stands are going to be jammed.
Yeah.
Well, they better be. And I will tell you, I'm old, so I can remember that 1984 season that everybody thought Illinois was going to be great, and it didn't come off following the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
But I will tell you this is he's got an opportunity to do something that has never been done in the history of Illinois football, which is to win back-to-back double-digit winning seasons. It's never been done.
It's never been done. Wow.
And like Ohio State has done that, something like 18 of the last 20 years or something. But anyway, so it's an opportunity for Illinois to really do that, and it's loaded because he has done what Brad Underwood has talked about doing, which is getting old and staying old. Mm-hmm. Bielema doesn't have as much NIL money compared to his peers as the basketball program has. Mm-hmm. So he has been forced to do a very, very sniper-like use of NIL. What players do we have to have stick around, like Gabe Yakas, get him to stay, Luke Altmaier, and then what do we do? Like last year, they got J.C. Davis to play tackle, and now they got him to come back for another year. You're seeing him in the first or second round in NFL mock drafts now. So he's gotten transfers that he needs, very specific positions and depth chart, where he wants them. And he has invested in his team. And the thing that Bielema does so well, because we have players on the Sports Spectacular, these players build a bond not only with their assistant coaches, but they build a bond with Brett Bielema, and they like their head coach. Doesn't mean he's not hard on them. Doesn't mean he doesn't have high expectations. But he also builds a relationship with them at the same time, and that has paid off in huge amounts because he has then been able to, maybe get them back at a little bit of a discount because they have that relationship. And this family, spelled ILL in the middle of it, seems to be a real thing because these guys are pretty tight. They have less transfers than most teams, and you got to give Bielema credit. I did not when he was first hired. I thought, well, we'll see, but he has proven me wrong because this guy knows how to coach football, but he also knows how to run a big organization. Mm-hmm. And I think those years in the NFL really helped him.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
And you talk about the football side of things, they don't have as much NIL. Is that, let's face it, you're trying to fill a squad of 52, whatever it is, whereas basketball, you got, 15? That's got to be difficult right there in its own just to fill a squad,
I think, again, I don't think he probably has quite as much as Brad Underwood, and more importantly, I would say that, if you look at Illinois basketball, they're somewhere in the top 8 to 12 in NIL funds, maybe top 5 in a good year. And Brett Bielema's not, in the top 15 or 20. Mm-hmm. So he is out coaching people on the field, and he's out coaching people on practice days, and he's really doing a number on finding guys that come out to be really good. You take a look, I know, he didn't recruit Kirby Joseph, but I still remember that Kirby was, of course, had played wide receiver for Illinois. Brett Bielema shows up, makes him a free safety. He plays so well that he's a third-round draft choice in one season of play on the field, and now he's the highest-paid safety in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, he just got paid.
That, to me, is coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but a player what he'll do best. Yeah, I think I think Bielema is an excellent coach, and he has pushed that program in the right direction. And, if they can stay up in that top 10 all year and have another great season, look what that does for recruiting. Because everybody wants to come over and go on your team when you're winning.
I totally agree with you, and again, this guy is just a sheer force of will guy, because if I would have told you in 2021 that in the 2024 season Illinois would win double-digit games, you would have probably committed me up to the crazy floor in the hospittal and got me some meds and some counseling.
No, probably we just put you on the show permanently.
Exactly. That's I'd be in the starting lineup.
Yes, you can make this squad. Yes.
Hey, any way you can get a job, look, I'm all for it.
Well, it doesn't take much here. If you show up, it's they're fine with that. But
as long as you can handle the disappointment of no waffles.
Yeah.
And
I just checked on it,
crush.
And they shut her down.
You got to get here 5 minutes before showtime. Let's face it, Big Ten, that's a tough conference, and to win double digits, in a season, that's a accomplishment in itself. And, you see how successful the Big Ten is year in, year out with your Ohio States and Michigans and Oregon, and, Nebraska's really starting to come around now. And,
are they?
Well, Jake tells us they are.
They've been coming around, though, for like 3 years now, so they may be good, but
they're all around the bend.
Well, we're just getting info from our other co-host who.
No. I hear that he's reflecting what I hear, but I keep having people tell me how this team is going to be great, and I keep going. Okay,
they're not.
But they're not.
Maybe.
They got Patrick Mahomes wannabe at quarterback, and we'll see what he does year 2. And then you see what Indiana did last year, and it's a tough conference. Let's face it, it's definitely up there.
Yeah, and I tell you what, though, can you imagine being in Memorial Stadium? If Illinois can make it to the Ohio State game with one loss or no losses.
Oh, man.
That is going to be a rocking place. USC is coming to town. That should be fantastic. I mean, there are some games on the schedule this year. And, Illinois don't have to play Penn State this year. And a lot of people have Penn State as the preseason number 1. So Illinois is in a position, they've got that opportunity to go ahead and do what you're talking about, create that image. Duke is a tough team. They're going to be, they've reloaded at quarterback, but Illinois starts against Western Illinois, then they travel to Duke. They play Western Michigan. Then they have that showdown over at Indiana. That is going to be a huge game because Indiana's reloaded quite a bit, got themselves a quarterback. So I don't think they're going to fade away as quickly as what people thought they might. And then you play USC. And then, Purdue, who, no matter how bad they are, gives Illinois a game. And then October 11th, you have Ohio State. And Illinois finishes, at Washington, at home against Rutgers, at home against Maryland, travel up to hated Wisconsin, and then wrap up with Northwestern. Now, injuries are a key, and you need some good luck. But, you could see Illinois losing, 2-3 games here, but if they play to the best of their ability, they've got a realistic shot of going 9-3, 10-2, 11-1.
Yep.
Wow.
That'd be it would be great.
It would be great.
You think coming out with that number 10 ranking, does that help or hurt, like with the kids, the players, the added pressure of
I'll tell you, I think the kids welcome it. You don't want them to be reading those press clippings and start to believe it too much. But I think it helps. And you know who it really helps with? is when you're recruiting kids, those kids follow who's in the top 10.
Sure, that's a big deal.
And you had mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. The longer Illinois can stay in the top 10, the more teams go, I'm going to go take a look at what's going on up there. The funny thing about Illinois is, when Illinois is good in either football or basketball, they get ratings. And so I think if Illinois, starts ascending, you've got, the state of Illinois is a big state, Chicago's a big area, and Americans love the underdog. How do you get more underdog than the Illinois or Indiana football program?
Yeah, exactly right.
It's just that Illinois's got a lot more people who watch it normally because it's a bigger state. So I think there's an opportunity for Illinois if they go 10-2 this year and make it into the college football playoff.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
Be amazing.
Yes, that would be fun. And gosh, would it help recruiting?
Yes, yeah, it would, and that also helps your NIL backers decide to write a bigger check.
A bigger check.
Well, I hear from
they'll probably so Bielma will be calling you guys up.
Well,
to get those 6-figure checks you guys cut.
Well,
there's Jim's laugh right there. Yeah. That's the laugh of.
Yeah, the laugh of
no.
All I hear from are the season ticket holders over there at LI Football, how they've raised the prices, so they better win because all those people are grumpy.
Yeah, I guess with success.
That's what happens. I remember in the 80s because I was a junior in high school when that 83 thing, and I remember all the people around Mahomet and Champaign where I lived, grousing after the season. It's like, yeah, you give us one good year, and now all of a sudden the prices go up. That's just life. It repeats itself.
At that 83 year you're talking about, Steve Grau, throwing a name out there at you, was the photographer for Illinois, and he got me on the field, and so I kind of walked around with him while he took pictures when they beat Michigan to win the Big Ten and go to the Rose Bowl, and everybody was on the field, and it was a madhouse. I've never forgot it. But I think it's like the last time that's ever happened, or the enthusiasm was there.
Yeah, that was a great season. At Mahomet, we had old Illini jerseys, and we had to fundraise for the football program. We had to sell programs. So I would walk around in the parking lots, selling programs, and then we could get in free, and we would sit behind the team.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I was number 19 in football, so I would just hop the fence because I looked like a wounded kicker, and I could stand there during parts of the games, and you could do that. And in the pregame of the Michigan game, I was kind of walking around, and it didn't occur to me that we had hand-me-down Illini uniforms, and I was over on the Michigan side, and some Michigan guys were like, "Get away from here!" And I'm like, "Who are they talking to?" And I looked down at my jersey. I'm like, this could be bad.
Yeah,
I've never hustle out of there.
I was in the right spot at the right time when it all took off for the victory, and somehow Craig Swoop gave me a high five. I've never forgotten that.
He hasn't washed his hands since.
Yeah,
Craig,
a friend of the Illini guys, super nice guy.
Yeah, he was a stud.
Oh, he was, and he'll tell you that, some of the stupid choices of his youth, didn't allow him to play as long in the NFL. But just a fantastic guy, and that game was how I met very quickly Bruce Douglas and Ephraim Winters, because I was on the field as well, and Bruce Douglas ran me over, and Ephraim Winters picked me up and told me everything was going to be fine.
Well, maybe
neither of them remembered it when I talked to him about it later as an Illini guy. I'm just shocked.
Well, ask Craig sometime if he remembers giving me that high five after that.
I will ask him if he did, and he will probably go, "It was amazing." Yeah. And in fact, he may not have washed his hand in all those years. I'll have to ask his wife. Does he wash that hand less than the other hand?
Yeah, he doesn't.
That's the one.
Yeah. Well, maybe you guys bumped into each other over there, Joe, on the field. You and Mike.
We could have. Who knows?
I was thinking, we could have, and because I think I was like I said, I was 16 at the time.
Joe was
about
probably
50,
34. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
No,
funny thing
I
is,
was
if
like
you-
19.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I probably would have been cool enough to hang out with you then. But the funny thing is we grew up and we thought Illinois was going to be top 20 in both sports all the time. How that bubble's been burst.
Oh yeah. There's been a lot of downs, but
Yes.
it looks
yes.
like they're on the up and up, and Illinois
Hope they can
sports
make a run.
is exciting now, and yeah, it's get the fan base back involved, and
love to see that.
yeah, and fill up that stadium. I've been there, several times where it's just bare, and
Yeah.
it really does help the players out when they see a full stadium and everything going, and it just makes it for a more fun game, and yeah,
College football is fun.
exciting news, and we'll see how it goes. You got to produce on the field, though. We can talk about it, but they got to go out and do the job. And I'm sure Coach Blima, he'll have them ready to go, and we'll see. It'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, Mike, we always appreciate you coming on. It's nice talking, intelligent sports, because most of the time
We've downgraded you some, but
it's
for us,
just a bunch of babbling on here. But yeah, we always appreciate you coming on and getting your information, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Excellent. Thanks for having the Atlanta Guys Sports Spectacular on the air there in Lincoln. We appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no problem, and we enjoy it. So you have a great
Thanks for the
rest of
info,
the weekend,
Mike.
and
Take care, gentlemen.
We'll talk to you down the road here.
Bye.
Well, Joe,
Bye.
That's a show, buddy.
Oh, there you go.
The first 15 minutes was just a bunch of nonsense, and then
That's for late listeners. We do that because people tune in late.
Yeah, and then you get somebody on there that knows what they're talking about and makes us look good.
They call those people professionals.
Yeah. What do they call us?
A lot of things, but it's not professional.
Not professional. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Cheap Seats.
It's a bright sunny day out there. Get something done today.
Graduation day.
Yeah. Graduation. Congrats to all the Railer grads.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Cheap Seats. We'll talk with you next week.
Good day.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.